2 weeks ago, I flew into Phnom Penh and I wanted to change my life. Well, has it gone well? Has it gone according to plan? Definitely not. There's been some turmoil, without a doubt, but there's also been some highlights. So this video is I'm going to cover, what I've learned in 2 weeks and just, changing my life totally. Total upheaval, leaving South Africa, coming to a totally new country, what's been as tough as nails and what's been really cool. And so if you're interested, if you may be going through something like this in your own life, you might want to watch this. You might learn something. And at the end of this video, I'm also going to put in my first tip to become happier later in life. That's the theme of this channel, is how to find happiness. So it's not just about, more money and stuff like that in life. We've got to be happy, otherwise what's the point? Well, obviously let's start at the beginning. My first day flying in, checking into the hotel. I remember, there goes a busy motorbike. I remember waking up that first morning in the hotel and just feeling incredibly happy. I cannot remember when last I felt so happy. It was just awesome. Luckily, obviously, the hotel had a comfortable bed. It had made things easier, but to wake up and just realize I'd finally done it. There was no more worrying, should I, shouldn't I. I was in, and that day was an absolute highlight, and everything was new, from catch and grab taxis to ordering fast food, to experiencing the friendly Cambodian staff, hotel staff. And everything was just amazing. And obviously, I've just come over, I've got money, so money wasn't a problem for the first few days. So the first few days, I can tell you, will absolutely be awesome. Just make sure you stay in a comfortable place, because now I'm staying in a hellhole. I'll do a whole video on that later. But so it's also going to be one of the things. You want to stay in a fairly comfortable place, even if you're on a budget. So that was amazing. The first day or two, it was really awesome, hell of a well worth it. Happiness, 10 out of 10, loved every second. Great. So that was a great start. So your first 2 days will be, I cannot tell you how happy you will feel. I haven't felt that happy in a long time, since I think I heard my child sing karaoke and people went crazy for her. She's a talented singer, and it used to really warm my heart when my daughter used to sing at karaoke places. But that's about it. I felt so happy. Anyway, so inevitably reality set in and I had to go and look for work, and this is where life really kicked in. I don't know if you've watched my previous video about looking for work, but I went to many places. Check this guy out, he's having a nap there. People here, some of them tuk-tuk drivers sleep in their tuk-tuks. So I went to a whole lot of universities. I drew up a list of 10. I dropped it off my CV. To my surprise, some of them were quite friendly. They introduced themselves. I got introduced to the dean. So the universities were really friendly. And then the following day, I made a whole video on that, and it was quite different. Like I say, I got stonewalled at every step. So 2 weeks in, at the moment there have been a few definitely maybes. The one looks quite promising, but it's only for a part-time gig at one of the universities, and to only work one day of the week. So after 2 weeks in, that's been a real failure. I was following the advice of AI and YouTubers that it's so easy to get a teaching job here. You just go and you apply and they will love you and you'll get a job, no worries. Well, that's been absolute BS in my case. So I've got some definitely maybes, and that's been probably the biggest disappointment, as there's no cash coming in at the moment. But we will persist and we will carry on. Also, one of the other mistakes I probably made was after the nice stay in the hotel, I thought I'd save some money and book into a really cheap place. I booked into a hostel. And it's been a nightmare because I'm in a dorm with 12 other people, and so it's extremely difficult just to be focused on anything in life, because there's always constant comings and goings, and there's a constant party. It's a real party backpackers kind of place. So I don't know what I was thinking. Well, maybe I'll save money, but mentally it's been a real downhill from there, because I just can't focus on looking for work. I managed to get a few CVs out, so my approach now is online, sending out CVs online, but it's been quite difficult even to make these YouTube channels because there's constant noise and activity there. So looks like some vendors getting ready for the day. Let's see what they got here. Hello. What is this over there? Is it meat or is it vegetables? I'm making video. So what is this one here? Oh, okay. And so that has also been something I've noticed. All these YouTubers and AI, they were telling me Cambodians are really good at English. You'll get your way around. Well, let me be frank with you, that's total BS. Most Cambodians I've spoken to, well, can hardly speak a word of English. So don't believe those YouTubers or AI. Maybe some hotel staff will speak to you in very broken English, but don't come here thinking everybody will understand you if you're English speaking. So you better get good at sign languages and pointing and getting the calculator out to work out prices and things like that. It's another shop getting ready for the day. But that being said, the Cambodians have generally been friendly. Once I went into a copy shop to make a picture, for an ID photo for an application form for one of the universities, and I asked if I could pay with MasterCard, and they said no, they only take cash, and I didn't have any cash on me. So I walked out the shop and I stood on the pavement in bewilderment what to do next, and the owner called me in and he said, don't worry, pay next time. So there they did it. They gave me 5 free passport photos, so they were really nice. And also once in the hotel, so once in the hotel, they also printed a whole lot of copies of my CV free of charge. So I've encountered some little, things that the Cambodians do that are really nice, really friendly. But at the moment, the biggest challenge is that many of them don't speak a word of English, which as a future English teacher is awesome, because you want to, you want demand, you want them not to be good at English so that you can teach them, so you can help them. So yeah, I believe countries like Malaysia, English is better. But don't come here thinking you can talk to the locals, because you'll be in for a big surprise. And I'm here in Phnom Penh, the big city, so normally in cities people speak English better, I've heard. Well, not my experiences so far. With me, let me just take these off with me. So finances are obviously, it costs money every day just to pay for food and accommodation and what have you. And when you don't have income coming in, you really worry. And so in the place where I'm staying now, I've got like a small bunk bed and it's got curtains, and you draw the curtains close and you're in absolute darkness. So at night when I'm trying to sleep, I've got to say I'm worrying myself sick, and it's horrible. And this is one of the, I guess, the realities. If you just want to jump ship and go somewhere and you're on a limited budget, you're going to worry yourself sick if you don't come right quickly. So that's been pretty nasty, worrying about it. But like I say, luckily I do sort of have a possible foot in the door at one of the universities, even though it is a part-time gig. This place looks quite nice. Some sort of guest house with elephants in front. Yeah, so that's been the real downside. Possibly if you want to do what I'm doing, save up as much as possible, obviously, so that you don't have to stress as much as me. But that being said, is maybe because I'm desperate, I might just come right, because I'm every day sending out loads of CVs or trying to network, speak to people that can maybe get me a job. But so far, I think if I get a job, I'm enjoying Cambodia and I'm happy to stay here. So that's the big if. Can you find work? Or maybe if you're a digital nomad, and you've got an outside income, well, it seems like a cheap place to live. It's very convenient. Yes, it's not the most beautiful city, and you're going to walk in some areas that are just stink to high heaven, but then a few blocks later you're in really nice places. So that's been the cool thing about Phnom Penh, is it just changes so quickly. You can be in one neighborhood and a few blocks later down you're in a really cool neighborhood. So it's been fascinating. So I guess my tip is watch those finances, or plan and save every cent you can if you want to do something as dramatic as I've done. So the darkest moments are, like I said, I'm staying in a place now and there's, it's dark at night, and I'm trying to fall asleep and my mind is in a million places at once. This is quite a nice place. And you really, for me, sometimes you can think too much and overthink, and you can get, you can worry. So that's got to be something. And what I did last night was just put some headphones on and some of my favorite music. There was music blaring from the bar, so I put my own music on, and immediately I started feeling better just listening to some of my old. Looks like we've got a nice sunrise there. So we zoom in on that. And yeah, so I think, we have to watch our thoughts, because I can get negative sometimes, and depressed. If you're in a dark, lonely place and you're thinking about everything that can go wrong instead of thinking about everything that can go right. So mentally you've got to be very careful of how you think. So that's, I've had some sort of mini bouts of depression, overthinking, worrying about money, but then I've had an absolute thrill. So I guess after 2 weeks, has it been worth it? I think absolutely. Even though I'm a bit stressed, I am much happier at the moment. So this channel is about happiness, so I guess for now we are happy. If I had to lose all my money and be homeless and live on the riverside area of Phnom Penh, where apparently there are quite a lot of homeless Westerners, will I be happy there? I don't know. You might find out, you might not. We'll see how this channel goes. Yeah, one of the things that's been incredibly difficult moving abroad has actually been the effect on family and friends I've left back home. Some of them are finding it extremely difficult. So if you do move abroad, realize that it's not just you. Some people will be affected at home, and some of them quite badly. You'll always have your fans that'll say you've done the right thing, well done, wishing you the best. But then there's always people that obviously wish you didn't go and you were there with them and share good times with them. So that's very difficult. So yeah, just bear that in mind. You can't just think of you in the new country. You have to think about, in my case, my wife, my child, my family. Obviously I'm starting to miss them, and they miss me to bits. The plan is to eventually bring my wife and child here. So obviously that's a real big target for me to work towards. But it's been tough missing those two in particular, and my mother. My mother and I are very good friends, so it's been quite hard. So bear that in mind when you do make the big move to move abroad, is to keep in touch. WhatsApp regularly, phone regularly. Let them know that even if you're on the other side of the world, you're still here and you still love them. Looks like there's a fancy hotel there. Anyway, let me get into the tip of the week, or whatever you want to call it. My first tip on being happy, and for me it's been every day to just do at least one thing that makes me happy, whether it's buying an ice cream, or what I do sometimes here at the hostel is they have, if you buy a burger or a pizza, you get a 50-cent draft beer, and every now and then I do crave a beer. So that's been my sort of at least one treat. I think mentally you have to look after yourself and realize that you are worth a bit of spoiling, even if it's an ice cream or a chocolate, or in my case a draft beer every now and then. So I'm trying to bring it into my daily routine, just to treat myself at least once every day. So if you're feeling down and you feel like you're not worth it, try that. Even if it's just a chocolate, or if you've got zero money, maybe just a walk in the park, just to treat yourself. If you're a workaholic, maybe read some old poetry you used to like, watch an old favorite movie. But I think it's important that at least once a day we need to treat ourselves, just to keep mentally sane. So that's what I've been doing, and it seems to be working. I really enjoy my treat, even if it's just one. Hopefully if I get a job it'll be more than one treat a day. Holding thumbs here.